deep chill permeated her
Did you
being,
sleep well last
a
night?
pervasive fever
Yes,
gripping her
the air
frame.
here is so fresh.
This wasn't genuine suffering, but a meticulously crafted illusion. "How do you find this, Mother?" she muttered, feigning discomfort, drawing the thin blanket closer. "I can't sleep in that cold place. It's far too frigid." Yet internally, a triumphant satisfaction simmered. "There's nothing wrong with me, old woman. I am strong, as sturdy as anything. But to have successfully deceived them, that, my child, brings me immense pleasure." She pondered their next move, her mind racing. "What shall we do now, my child? My daughter and I—" "Oh, I've got it." A cunning scheme began to coalesce in her mind. "What if we, just the two of us, go check on our patch of mustard greens, that thriving bed of vegetables, the one we used to harvest and sell? If it's overgrown, we can thin it out. The last time we gathered them, they were tiny, but by now they must be substantial. We can go see, and if they're ready, we'll harvest and sell them, won't we?" A flicker of malicious intent crossed her features. "Or should we go and see? Should we invite the old woman along? Perhaps entice her to come work with us?" She turned to her unsuspecting benefactress. "Come, dear sister, won't you join us, my daughter and I, to pick vegetables for sale?" The old woman, Hang's mother, responded with a weary sigh. "I don't think I can go." "Why?" she asked, her voice laden with feigned weakness. "I feel as if I'm about to fall ill, a headache throbbing. I'm already feverish. I can't possibly go. I am truly sick." The urgency in Hang's mother's voice was palpable, her feigned illness a strategic maneuver. "I'm getting sick, or so it feels. My head aches and I'm running a fever right now. I simply cannot go. I am unwell." Nhat's mother, ever diligent and somewhat skeptical, confronted her directly. "Are you just being lazy? Faking it, aren't you?" The response was swift and indignant. "No, dear sister, I am truly ill, honestly." A dismissive wave of the hand. "Enough, no more talk. Get up and go. My head is pounding too much." She reiterated her refusal with dramatic flourish. "I cannot get up, dear sister. I truly am ill." Nhat's mother pressed on, her frustration mounting. "Go. No need for further words. If you sit there all day, where will our food come from?" The elderly woman's plea, a carefully constructed performance, continued. "Oh, dear sister, I am so weary, truly ill. I cannot go." Her counterpart, however, saw through the charade with growing impatience. "What is this absurdity? It's your nature to be lazy, to shirk work. So you invent this illness to deceive my daughter and me? Oh, I have a fever! I have a fever!" She mocked. "Go on. You must get a thin blanket to cover me. I'm terribly feverish and so cold. I absolutely cannot go. I am truly ill. See for yourself, am I not ill?" she challenged, her voice rising in a calculated crescendo. "She says she's sick, but there's no warmth to her skin," the daughter observed. "No, I am truly ill. My head aches terribly. This is all a pretense. You truly cannot go." The theatricality of her illness escalated, designed to instill doubt and evoke sympathy. "I've already told you I am ill. Why won't you believe me?" she lamented, her voice a fragile whisper. "I am so weary and sick." Nhat's mother, however, remained unmoved, her suspicion unwavering. "Truly, a lazy person." Hang's mother continued, her voice weak. "Oh, don't you see me? I can barely even speak. I'm so sick and so cold." Nhat's mother retorted, her tone sharp with accusation. You're lazy, unwilling to go, and so you're playing a trick on my daughter and me, aren't you? If you don't go, my daughter and I won't cook anything for you to eat later. Understand? Let her be, my child. Let the lazy woman do as she pleases. With the two women gone, the true architect of the deception revealed her motives, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Now, my child, those two are off to harvest vegetables. But yesterday, I harvested all of them already, and when I sold them, I encountered the creditor, the very woman who now threatens to report me to the police. So now, I dare not go outside. This is the only way for me, to feign illness and stay here. I dare not step foot on the street. Let those two fools, my daughter and I, go to work. I won't be working. Her internal monologue continued, a raw confession of her calculated self-interest. Why should I work? Now I am sick, and I will simply sleep. I've claimed this bed, and to sleep while ill like this, it's truly delightful. Tonight, let those two sleep on that other bed over there. It's cold, isn't it? You deserve it. That bed is terribly cold. This bed, though, it's undeniably warm for sleeping. Such bliss. I have everything here. It's truly wonderful. While those two work, I sleep here in pure comfort. As time passed, a new concern emerged, a pang of genuine hunger breaking through her self-satisfied reverie. I wonder what those two are looking for to eat. I'm so hungry now. They've gone. My stomach growls. I'm searching, but I can't find anything to eat. Where is the food? I thought there were cakes and meat, but it's all gone. Oh, there's only rice here. There's nothing to eat, is there? How peculiar! Where could they have put anything? Then, a glimmer of hope. Ah, there's one packet of instant noodles, hidden far up there. I'll eat that. A satisfied grunt escaped her lips as she began to prepare her hidden meal. Yes, I'll go and eat that, then sit for a while. While those two work, I will simply eat here. When they return, I'll eat again, then go back to sleep. There, luckily, one packet of instant noodles hidden above where I'm supposedly working. All this time, when I was working, people were still seeking me, trying to catch me. So now, I won't go anywhere. All I know is how to eat and sleep here. I'm quite clever, you see. A delicious slurp. A moment of pure, unadulterated pleasure. Delicious, truly delicious, she mused, the warmth of the noodles a stark contrast to the cold indifference she projected. Because I'm not working, sitting here, I still have instant noodles to eat. Eating my fill, I'll stay here, content. Oh, my child, there are no vegetables left now. Before, when Nhat and I harvested to sell, you saw how many there were, didn't you? A wave of concern, genuine this time, washed over Nhat and his mother as they surveyed the devastated plot. Why have they all died? Nhat pondered, the sight disheartening. Oh, Mother, here, look here. His mother's eyes narrowed, a sense of unease settling upon her. It looks as if someone else has harvested them, doesn't it? She observed, pointing to telltale signs. These discarded leaves, so fresh. And look, here are footprints. See, my child, it looks like someone has been through here already. Who could have stolen them? They must have harvested them so recently, my child, don't you think? If they hadn't harvested, these tracks would still be very fresh. Someone has been here and harvested already. Look here. Fresh footprints. And then, they're all gone, uprooted. The extent of the pilfering became painfully clear. Yes, all of this has been uprooted, nothing left. Now, what can my daughter and I sell? Nhat's mother mused, a hint of desperation creeping into her voice. Should we pull weeds instead? Maybe if we clear the weeds now, the vegetables will grow back for us to sell later? This is theft, pure and simple.
Oh, let's go to a spot they don't know about, my child. Come, go and chop.
She gestured towards the fresh footprints. Look at their fresh footprints. We'll clear around here, and perhaps tomorrow, the vegetables will grow big again. Even if they're small, we'll harvest them. The unseen consequences of the deceptive woman's actions began to ripple outward, affecting Nhat and his mother's livelihood. They toiled, clearing the land, hoping for even a small return. We threw them away so they would grow stronger, my child. Nhat's mother explained, referring to the discarded greens. Just a little bit of vegetables for us here. The thieves won't know to come back here. But if we hadn't harvested them earlier, they wouldn't have found this spot again. It's too frustrating. Now, I don't know what to do. If I go to harvest and sell vegetables, I'm afraid I'll run into that niece who wants to catch me. So perhaps the only way now is to just pretend to be sick. Her true thoughts, now fully exposed, revealed a deep-seated fear and cunning. Otherwise, if I go out to work, I'll be caught, and that would be truly miserable. The elaborate charade continued to evolve, each step meticulously planned to ensure her comfort and evasion. Now, this is probably the only way. While they're not yet back from work, I'll just sleep. When they come back and find me sick, this method will surely work. A devious smile played on her lips. This way, when they get home, I'll take this basin of water, splash some on my face to make it look sweaty. That will create the illusion of a fever. Will it work? If you do it like that, my child, they won't believe you. Instead, you need to make yourself a little bit sweaty, moist with the sweat of illness. She demonstrated. Here, just rub it around the edges, a little bit on the side, and Mother will quickly show you how. Later, the dutiful pair returned, finding the old woman still ailing. Nhat's mother, ever practical, offered nourishment. My child, we picked a lot of greens here. Eat some. You picked some before and they were still green, weren't they? I just harvested them. A new challenge arose.
Oh, my child, all the weeds are gone. You said to go home and sell them, but when we got back, someone had eaten them all.
Nhat's mother lamented, her voice tinged with frustration. I'll sleep for a bit, then check if they've grown back. We'll pour some water. Maybe in a week or two they'll grow back. I see some small ones, but I don't know if they're ready yet. The anticipation of a simple meal and the frustration of repeated misfortune weighed heavily on them. We need things to sell, to buy vegetables to eat, but now they haven't returned after so long. The thought of impending demands from the sick woman brought a sigh. Later, when she comes back, if I'm sick, I'll make her cook porridge. Cook meat porridge, not just plain porridge. Plain porridge isn't good. All right, I'm sure I don't know who stole them. Now I've failed. A sense of defeat hung in the air. It's a failure now. There's nothing left to sell, my child. Nhat's mother observed the sleeping woman. That old woman sleeps so soundly. Is she truly lazy or truly sick? Or is she just pretending? I look at her and it seems like she's just faking it. It's truly infuriating. Even a few mustard greens, they stole them. Now my daughter and I don't know what to sell. I carry this knife, and my child, we harvested them only once to sell. This time we went, and who knows who stole them? My child, we've failed. There are no vegetables to sell. We've wasted an entire morning. Nhat, with youthful resilience, offered a philosophical perspective. Let them be, Mother. If there's none, let them eat. Don't say anything more.
If they want to eat them, let them. It's just a few plants. She complains we harvested everything.
Then a curious observation. What's wrong with that old woman over there? Is she sick, dear sister?
Do you have medicine? Are you truly sick?
Nhat's mother returned, exhausted. Oh, my daughter and I just came back from work. So tired. Let me sit and rest for a moment. Give her some medicine to drink. Oh, it's too much, dear sister. Are you truly sick? The arrival of the unsuspecting duo brought a new phase to the deception. Are you sick, dear sister? Let's go in, my child, and see if she's truly ill. Oh, dear sister, it's so cold. I am so cold. The dramatic performance continued. You feel so cold? Yes. Nhat's mother, concerned, suggested, Then cover yourself with a blanket. It's too much. You're feverish. Are you truly sick, or are you joking? The patient insisted. I am truly sick. I'm not joking with you. Nhat murmured, Yes, my child. I think she's truly sick. He then pondered, Yes, my child. What can we do? The old woman responded, She says she has a fever, but I feel her forehead is cold. I feel cold, but a fever usually makes you cold at first. Dear sister, don't you see my face is all wet? Nhat's mother acknowledged, I see it's wet, but when I touch your forehead, it feels cool, as if you're not really sick, not feverish. Hung's mother persisted, But I have a fever. The detailed observation of the patient brought further confusion. A fever that makes me all wet like this, she exclaimed, indicating her damp skin. She says she's sweaty from fever, but when I touch her forehead, it feels cold. She's all sweaty from fever. Nhat's mother instructed her child, My child, go touch her forehead. See if it's cold. Nhat reported, Mother, it doesn't feel very cold. I think she's playing a trick on us. Hung's mother quickly interjected, Don't you see I'm all sweaty from fever? I just wiped away the sweat. It's a fever, but when I touch your forehead, it feels cold. It's a cold fever, a malarial fever. It's not hot. When you have a fever, your forehead should be hot. So why do I feel you're cold? She continued her act. I have a cold. How long have you had this fever? She replied dramatically. A very long time. Since this morning, when you went to work, I told you I couldn't go. I had a fever already. The patient elaborated on her fabricated symptoms, weaving a more convincing narrative. I felt terrible. I invited you to work with me, and you said you felt unwell and didn't go. I thought you were just lazy and joking, so I didn't believe you. You're usually a person who jokes around, but I'm truly sick now. I'm not joking. Nhat's mother, now convinced, urged her child. My child, do we have any medicine? Give it to her. I'll go cook some porridge. Her instructions to Nhat were clear, reflecting a mother's concern and the immediate need for sustenance. Fetch some meat and cook some porridge for her to eat. She's hungry too, both feverish and hungry. Nhat's mother confirmed, Yes, my child. You told me to get medicine. I only know how to use traditional herbal medicine, not modern pills, so I'll get some herbs to apply to her head. So, my child, light the fire. I'll go gather some traditional herbs to apply. Now the pot is boiling. Tonight we'll have porridge to eat. A perplexed expression crossed Nhat's mother's face. This old woman being sick, I find it truly strange. I've never seen her sick before. She's sick now, and her forehead feels cold to the touch. It seems she's not accustomed to deception. only to hard labor. She then refocused on the task at hand. All right, let's attend to her now that she's sick. I'll get the medicine to apply to her.
My child, hold off on cooking the porridge for a moment. Let mother prepare this medicine for her first. Outside, the weather mirrored their mood. It's raining, isn't it? The wood is damp and won't burn easily.
Unaware of the deception, Nhat and his mother continued their preparations, a testament to their inherent goodness. These two, my child, are quite clever. Even a small trick, and they believe it. My child, is she truly in pain over there? She sounds like she's complaining loudly. Nhat's mother soothed. After I warm this medicine, my child, you prepare the porridge for her, okay? This medicine is for her to apply. She then addressed the patient. Dear sister, is your fever very high? Yes. Let me apply a little medicine, okay?
Yes. I'll go find a cloth to tie this with, okay?
The ritual of care continued, with Nhat's mother meticulously attending to the ailing woman. Yes, I'll tie it like this and apply the medicine like this. How do you feel, dear sister? Do you feel too hot? The patient replied, her voice carefully modulated. It's not hot. It's just right. Does it make you feel warm? The warmer, the better. It's just right. I was afraid this warmed medicine would be too hot. It is hot medicine. Nhat's mother advised, then, if you're tired and sick, you should sleep here, okay? Nhat's mother announced their plans to cook for her. My daughter and I are preparing some porridge for you to eat. The patient, maintaining her demanding persona, instructed, you must cook the porridge well. Yes.
And put plenty of meat in it.
I know. If it's not well cooked, I won't eat it. Nhat's mother, ever patient, responded, yes. Then you sleep, okay? Yes. My daughter and I will go cook some porridge for you. As Nhat began to prepare the meal, her mother relayed the patient's exacting demands. My child, you're cooking porridge, and she insists we put a lot of meat in it and that it must be delicious. She says if it's not good, she won't eat it. The new demands created a fresh dilemma for the two caregivers. Now she's demanding delicious porridge, and meat porridge at that. Where will we find meat, my child? We don't know where to get meat to cook porridge. Today, my daughter and I went to harvest mustard greens. If they hadn't been stolen, my daughter and I would have had vegetables to sell. Then we could have bought a little meat to cook porridge for her. But now, without anything, we can only cook plain porridge. The porridge began to simmer, a meager offering given their circumstances. It's about to boil now, yes. My child, go check on her. Yes, go ask her if the medicine mother applied has helped a little. The patient, still in character, replied, this medicine has helped a little. I admit, applying this medicine, I feel lighter. My head feels truly clear now, my child. Or perhaps it's because the house next door has a draft? I just fell ill. Tonight, my child, let me sleep here, okay? I'm sick, so let me sleep here, okay? The patient continued to lament her discomfort in the other bed, reinforcing her need for the current, warmer one. I can't sleep over there. It's too cold. If I sleep here, I'll be sick. Sleeping on this side, it's enclosed, so I probably won't get sick. It's just that the bed over there, the wind is too strong. It's too cold. That's why I got sick. Yes, my child, go check. I'll sit here and apply the medicine. Sleeping over there would truly be cold. Cold as anything. So tonight, I will definitely sleep here. A sense of smug satisfaction settled over the deceiver. It's warm here now. Later, I wonder what kind of porridge and meat those two will cook for me. I'm sure they'll cook meat. To Nhat, her mother instructed, "My child, it's dried up. Add a little more water. It's not soft enough yet." She mused about the unexpected illness. This old woman, perfectly fine one moment, then suddenly sick. There's no medicine either, just a little traditional herb. I wonder if it will cure her. "My child, it's dry. Add a little water, my child." The laborious cooking continued. "Pour a little water in. The rice grains aren't soft enough yet, my child." Nhat asked, "Is the porridge cooked yet?" Nhat's mother replied, "Not yet." "So, does she want us to cook meat?"
What kind of meat? Today, my daughter and I went to harvest vegetables to sell, but someone stole all the vegetables. Without vegetables to sell, where would we get money to buy meat? "Just a little bit of this porridge." The patient chimed in, demanding, "Porridge with plenty of meat. Then I can eat it." "A little meat and I won't eat it." The tension in the kitchen was palpable, a clash between genuine care and demanding pretense. "I already told you, my daughter and I went to harvest vegetables to sell, but someone stole them all. Now, my daughter and I have no vegetables to sell, so where will we get meat for you to eat? If it's cooked without meat, how can I eat it?" "The porridge must have meat, lots of meat. Then it will be delicious and I can eat it. If I'm sick and there's no meat, how can I eat it?" Ugh, porridge without meat isn't good. The patient elevated her demands even further. "Ideally, we should buy a pig's trottoir to stew. Stewed pig's trottoir is truly delicious, isn't it?" Nhat's mother, exasperated, confided, "This old woman is sick, and we're cooking porridge for her, but she's demanding meat with her porridge. She even wants us to buy a pig's trottoir. Usually, when one is sick, they can't eat anything." The mere mention of meat makes them nauseous. But she can eat it. This old woman is truly strange. She's really something. Porridge without meat. Oh, we'll just let her be. Despite the challenging circumstances, Nhat and his mother showed remarkable compassion. "I'm sick, and they're still taking care of me. I feel like a boss, truly blissful. My child, blow on it to cool it down. Then later, give it to her to eat." Nhat's mother recalled a missed opportunity. "We went to sell vegetables and forgot to go to the store to buy one of these small spoons. We'll just have to use this to feed her, my child. Come, dear sister, come eat some porridge." The patient replied, "Yes, the medicine helped a little. Do you feel better?" She confirmed, "Better now." Nhat's mother prepared the meal with gentle care. "So, I'll tie this cloth for you, and then you can eat by yourself, okay?" "My child, I still have to go. You go to work. I can eat now. I feel a little better." "My child, it's bland, no meat. Is there, dear sister?" The patient replied, "No, there isn't." "Tonight, let's see if your son-in-law brings home some meat. If your son-in-law brings home meat, then I'll cook it for you to eat." Oh, there's no meat. The prospect of meat from the son-in-law was a fleeting hope. But every time the son-in-law comes home from work, he usually buys meat. Without meat, how can I eat? Let's see if the son-in-law buys meat when he comes home, or if he doesn't cook. Eat this for now. Dear sister, please try to eat a little. This plain porridge, you can eat it temporarily.